What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies and you kids, this literally does not work. All right, week number 3 is almost in the books. We got, of course, the Sunday night game that's going on right now, or excuse me, about to kick off in about 10 minutes, and then we've got Cowboys versus Giants tomorrow. You know what's funny about football? The thing that's funny to me about football is the reality that nobody really knows shit. You know, there's a person out there who's constantly doing videos and saying the things that Mark Holmes was wrong about. Well, here's the reality of football. If you can find me somebody who is 100% right about everything in football, I will say you're a liar, because there is nobody out there that knows everything about football. Here's where it's just crazy as can be. Here is literally where it's crazy as can be. People looked and said, Tua, there's no way in the world Tua can get those guys with those weapons. Yeah, he's got great weapons, but Tua sucks. Right now, they're 3-0. They're 3-0. Josh Allen, you know, a week ago, they said this team is the team, that they are the best defensively team. They're the best offense. Josh Allen can't be stopped. And guess what? They got stopped by the Miami Dolphins today. They got stopped by the Miami Dolphins. We looked at people talking about the AFC West. Oh my God, that division is going to be hell. Oh man, that team, that division has the best quarterbacks in football. It's going to be a war. Kansas City, which looked great against the Cardinals week 1, looked like they should have lost against the Chargers week 2. Okay? Because, you know, Pat Mahomes got away with like 3 or 4 interceptions. One of those times he threw into triple coverage. He didn't even have a receiver there. It was just 3 guys that were there in a group, and he threw it to them, not his own guys. And today, they get beat by the Colts, who were winless. The Colts with Matty Ice, who looked like ass. Ass. You look at Denver, they're already, with Russell Wilson, already talking about they need to fire the coach. Yeah, Denver, already. They're talking about firing the coach. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, you know, one of the young guns, he ends up getting injured last week. He does not look like he is all that. They lose to the Jaguars. The Jaguars, a team that everybody said is ass, they're 2-1. They're 2-1. And for the Eagles, they may be the best team that they actually face right now. Now, you got the Minnesota Vikings, who beat Green Bay, right? They beat Green Bay. They looked awful on Monday night, but then you forget that Kirk Cousins always looks terrible on Monday night. Kirk Cousins is like 1-10 on Monday Night Football, and they looked like Kirk Cousins was 1-10 on Monday Night Football against the Eagles. Now, the Eagles, you could tell that those guys did not like Carson Wentz. 9 freaking sacks. You know, and I want to give the Eagles credit, okay, because you play the team. See, this is where you Eagle fans will lie on me. This is where you'll lie on me, because I give credit where credit's due. The Eagles, hey, you have beat the people that are in front of you. You know, it wasn't you making up the schedule. It was the NFL making the schedule. And right now, the teams you faced, you've stood them up and you've knocked them down. But I will say this much about them. Jalen Hurts is definitely better than what people thought he was. A.J. Brown is definitely a playmaker that makes them a lot better. These are facts. And I will say that was payback game for Eagles against Carson Wentz. You could tell that he was the redheaded stepchild, and they wanted his ass. But what I don't understand is this. And this is where that game should have been closer than what it was. But I look at that, and that's one of those cases like coaching matters. Coaching matters. The Eagles ended up getting a hell of a break on Davante Adams, and the Philly 500 will admit it wasn't a catch. 42-yard catch. Ron Rivera is too late getting the red challenge flag out. That one, boom, one of the scores. They ended up having two big pass interference calls that ended up being like a 32 and a 42-yard, pickup for them. Those plays right there made a difference. But the thing that really kills me is understanding the game in real time and being able to adjust. See, here's the thing. Washington's down 17-0. Your quarterback has been sacked like 5 or 6 times. You've got like minus 16 yards passing. Your running backs are actually doing damage. Everybody is averaging like 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. And you get the ball back with 2:54 left before the half. This is when, as a coach, you have to say, you know what? My quarterback doesn't have it tonight. He doesn't have it right now. Let's play for clock management. Let's run the football. Because if we run the football, then we're going to either force the Eagles to use their timeouts or we can burn 40 seconds off in a whack. They didn't do that. They go 3 pass plays that are 3 incompletions. They burn off only about 15 seconds of the clock. They end up kicking to the Eagles and giving them great field position, in which case they march down the field and they get a score. So instead of it being 17-0, all of a sudden it's 24-0. They didn't have to give up that 7 points. That's where coaching matters. If they had come out and it's 17-0 and they ended up getting that, safety, you get a score. Now it's a 1-score game. The Eagles got flat in the second half. They didn't score any more points at that second half. And this again is where you had opportunities, but you failed your team. Carson Wentz was horrendous. I will say that. But the coaching staff did not help him in the least to try and keep him going. So the Eagles, 3-0. Seeing Tampa Bay and Green Bay facing each other in what was really a defensive struggle where you looked at both of these quarterbacks and they just couldn't get it done. Tom Brady, of course, Mike Evans is on suspension. Chris Godwin's hurt. He's got nobody to throw to. Aaron Rodgers, he's lost Davante Adams, right? So they don't have weapons. And when you don't have weapons, guess what? You don't score a whole lot of points. So you end up with a 14-12 game. But, I'm sure we won't hear anything about those two quarterbacks are ass. They're going to say they didn't have weapons in the same way we didn't have weapons against Tampa Bay. But then you look at a team like the Raiders. The Raiders who go out and get Davante Adams. The Raiders who turn around and pay Derek Carr, FYI, more money per year than Dak Prescott. He's getting $40.5 million a year. And guess what, guys? Derek Carr has never won a playoff game. Derek Carr's been to the playoff once. Derek Carr is 0-3 to start the season with the best wide receiver in football. They went out to get him weapons to say, here you go. And guess what? He looks like ass. So if you're keeping track of what the experts said about the AFC West, where they said best division in football, you got to look at it as Kansas City is 2-1. You look at Denver, which is 1-2. Are they 1-2 yet? I've got to see. Oh no, they play tonight. You look at the Chargers that are 1-2. You look at the Raiders that are 0-3. So much for that being the best division of football. Football is a strange lover. And so tomorrow night, we, of course, have the Giants. I have not seen giant trolls like this since the beginning of 2017. This last time the Giants had 2 victories over the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott's rookie year. They are all over the place. And you know what? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow because football is crazy. But we've got Giant fans that are saying that it's going to be 38-10. In what life do you think that Daniel Jones is going to lead an offense to 38 points? Seriously. You might win the game, but I guarantee you ain't scoring 38 points. And for Daniel Jones, who averaged 3.7 yards per pass play last week, I believe if the Cowboys shut down Barkley and force him to pass, it's going to get ugly. I'm not expecting Cooper Rush to light up and get 40 points or anything like that, but we'll see what happens in that game. Micah Parsons has the flu bug. Quentin Bohannon is questionable. Michael Gallup should be playing on a pitch count, is questionable. And I'm trying to think of who else is questionable. Oh, Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, who is the Giant killer, he's questionable. But on the Giant side, their wide receivers, their best one, Kadarius Toney and Wynn, they're probably not going to be playing. And so Daniel Jones, who's handicapped to begin with, doesn't have any receivers to throw to. Not that he can actually throw to them. So that is week number 3 in about 11-minute video. And I'll be back with my fireside chat later on. I've been out here live streaming. We've gotten cleaned up from the game. I need to go spend some time with my wife and stuff like that, because I love my baby and she loved me. We love each other together. And, me, I'm still a YouTube whore. I will do videos because I like doing videos. All right. I will catch you guys in a bit.